Hey, sleep causes craziness. Have you heard that before? Denise Wellick-Peterson here, Hormone Bootcamp. So today we're going to talk about menopause and sleep and how sleep is interplayed into this whole thing. So first of all, let's talk about some of the hormones that are playing with here as we go into perimenopause and menopause. So as we get older, our progesterone and estrogen both decrease. We still have a cycle, but instead of having a cycle, we have a cycle, right? So we want to support that cycle as long as we can, because as your progesterone drops from this level to this level, then we start to have sleep disturbances, right? We wake up easily in the night. As estrogen drops from here to here, it starts to take us longer to fall asleep, right? So we want to support those hormones as best as we can. So one of the ways you might do that would be the seed cycling that we talked about yesterday, and I'd encourage you to go watch that one to see which ones are which. Why do we need sleep? Sleep is for recovery of the body and of the brain. So if you're working out, your muscles recover when you're in sleep. So if you're not sleeping well, you might have soreness longer. You might find that your workouts are tougher and tougher because you're not working on well-rested muscles. You're not working on recuperated muscles. Same goes for the brain. When you're not sleeping, your brain isn't going through the download function. So if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, the memories that you created that day are not being downloaded. The information that you learned that day are longer that happens, and the more often that happens, the more brain disturbances you're going to have, the more memory lapses you're going to have, the more your brain fog is affected, right? So we want to be sure we're getting some sleep. And if you go too long without sleep, it causes psychosis, craziness, right? So is it any wonder that 100 years ago or more, women who lived to be menopause age were being put in the institutions because they couldn't sleep, so they were going crazy? I mean, it could have been because they started speaking their mind, but I'm betting because they were literally going crazy because of lack of sleep, right? So we want to really encourage some sleep things. Now, we've talked about it before, but just another quick rundown of some of the things that can help you to get to sleep and stay to sleep longer. So first of all, go back and watch yesterday's seed cycling. But create a regular bedtime. So I know with all the things going on in the world, I don't have a regular get up time, so my bedtime got skewed. So I'm having to set an alarm to go to bed and an alarm to get up to make sure I keep hitting that regular bedtime. Get off of your screens. Shut the TV off an hour to an hour and a half before bed. This blue light is screwing with our melatonin production. And if our melatonin isn't going up, melatonin is triggered by light. And originally it was supposed to be sunlight, right? So as the sun went down earlier and earlier, when the sun would go down, your melatonin would increase, and then it would help you sleep throughout the entire night. And then you would naturally start to wake up as the sun started to come out, right? Well, electricity has kind of skewed that, and now we're on our screens right up until we fall asleep, and sometimes even beyond if we fall asleep with that screen in our hands. So our melatonin production, the hormone that is helping you fall asleep, is not kicking in when it needs to kick in order to get you to sleep if you're not shutting your phone down. Lower the room temperature, because also with that progesterone dropping, we are not so tolerant of temperature changes, and we're not tolerant of heat temperature. Our body doesn't kick into a cool down phase until we're so in need of it that we break into the night sweats, right? So start with a room cooler. Also, nobody likes to hear it, but cut the alcohol and caffeine. It might help you get to sleep, but it's what's screwing up your sleep once you are asleep. Any further questions? Be sure you drop them in the comments. I just want to make sure you've heard about the program I just got put out here today. It's called Use Your Cycle. It's a 4-week mini course. It's going to start Monday the 6th. We're going to talk about all the nutrition things that you can do to use your cycle to, at the very least, maintain your weight. Even if you're not getting leaner or working toward getting leaner right now in this time, you can maintain the weight and not gain the COVID-19 pounds, right? So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about some of the easier and some of the more complicated things. So if you have more time on your hands, maybe now is a good time to tackle some of the more in-depth procedures, protocols. And if you don't have much time on your hands, we've got some protocols that are pretty low barrier to entry. We're also going to talk about sleep. We're also going to talk about stress and how important it is that we get our stress under control, even in times that are hard. And then because I want everything to be moving in the same direction, I'm giving you a bonus 8 workouts to be used in conjunction with your cycle, to use your cycle with. Now, I think this is such an important thing, and I think so many women have reached out to me in my DMs and in my emails asking me what they can do right now to not gain weight, how they can maintain weight, telling me how chaotic their eating has become when they've started working from home. I think it's super important that we get something out there. So I was initially going to put this course out there at 3 times as much. So I've dropped the price way down because I think it's really important that we get something that's doable and something that we can implement right now. So the link is up in my bio. Be sure to check that out. I would love to have you join me. The first 8 women who sign up are also going to get one-on-one phone calls with me each of the 4 weeks. So I've already have a few of those spots are already taken. There's just a couple left. So be sure if you're interested in this, you check it out as soon as possible. I look forward to working with you. Tell your friends, and I will see you tomorrow on the Lunchtime Live.